Okay, so the plan is you begin with a rectangle of paper that is 10 centimetres by 20 centimetres, and then you fold it in half so that the long ends come together. And unfold it. Then rotate it and fold it in half so that the short ends come together. And unfold it. And then rotate it and fold the long ends up into the centre in the line that you created with your first fold. Then unfold it and fold the short ends up into the centre along the line you created with your second fold. And unfold it. And then you fold this short end here up to the first available line and unfold it, creating 8 squares along here, and do the same on the other side. Then unfold all of it and turn your piece of paper over. You're now going to fold the corners into this line here so that each of these 4 little squares is folded up into a triangle shape. And do that with each of the corners. Then unfold all of those and turn it over again. You're now going to fold this short edge up to this line here, leaving 8 small squares at the top. And then you're going to fold in just this small square in the corner to make a smaller triangle. And the same on the other side. Then turn it over and reinforce that fold by folding it back on itself. Turn it back, open it all up, and repeat on the other side. So rotate it, and you're going to fold this short edge up here so that there are 8 squares remaining at the top. Fold. Take these corners in to form a very small triangle. Turn it over and reinforce that fold by folding it back on itself. Then turn it over and unfold everything. Okay, then bend this line backwards so that you have the 8 small squares here, and the same on the other side. And now if you bend the central line in, it will all fold up into a box shape, like this. You then need to fold one of these over to form an irregular pentagon, and then fold the corners of one side into the centre. Once you've done that, open them back up and fold the bottom up as well, only pressing along this central part here. Then bend it back and fold the corner in at the same time. You can pinch down here to make sure that both go into the centre, so that the bottom of this is at the centre and the corner of this is at the centre as well. Then flatten down the piece that's standing up. Once again, pull it back and fold the corner back in. Pinch here to make sure that both this corner and that are at the centre, and flatten down the piece that's standing up. Then fold that up to the top and fold this piece over as well. Rotate it and then you're repeating. So you bring both sides into the centre, open it up and bring the bottom up, only press along the middle part, bend the bottom back, bring the corner in, pinch down at the sides to make sure that this corner and the bottom centre meet the centre there, and flatten the part that's standing up. And then fold this piece up as well. You'll then have a very small square that's divided along the centre. Now imagine that there's a line diagonally along the centre of each of these small squares. The next thing to do is to fold each of the sides of these squares so that they lie along the line, and then unfold. So lifting this one up, fold it in so that it comes along that line, fold and unfold. Now lifting up this side, fold it so that it lies along that line, and unfold, and so on. And repeat it with this square. Then starting in the top left corner, place your thumb and finger behind the corner and use the nail of your index finger to push the corner into the gap between your thumb and forefinger. When you then pinch it, you'll be able to make the pinched part stand up along those lines you have just pre-folded. Do the same for the other corners. And flatten those down. Next we need to fold these corners underneath. And when you fold that back, you can just check that you have them precise. Then bend this part over it, and we're going to be repeating the process that we just did there. So imagining that there is a diagonal line along here, and folding each of the edges of these squares in to lie along it. Finally placing your thumb and your forefinger behind the corners and pinching them down. Then folding these parts under. And checking that they're precise. Once you've pressed all of that down, you'll see you have a little box. You will need to make 5 of these. Happily, the next part is much easier. So you start with the same size piece of paper, 20 centimeters by 10 centimeters, and you begin the same way, folding the long edges together. Opening it up, rotating it, and folding the short edges together. Opening it up and folding the long edge in to the center where you made your first fold. And repeating that on the other side. And then opening it up and folding the short edges into the center as well. Once you finish that, you close up the short edges you've just folded, turn your piece of paper over, and then fold this corner so that the bottom part here lies along this line. You're making a very small triangle in each corner. And repeat for all 4 corners. Then turn it over, open it up, and if you fold these 2 parts into the center here, and then the top and the bottom up, you end up here with an octagon. Take each side into the corner, into the center, and that then forms a rectangular box. Much simpler. You will want to make 2 of these. Next, you're going to want a larger piece of paper measuring 20 centimeters by 43 centimeters. You begin by folding the corners down to make a triangle, but they won't meet in the center because of the irregular size of the piece of paper. Note the 3 centimeter gap in the middle here. You then fold each corner up, like so. And this creates a line down either side of the 3 centimeter gap. And then open that out. We're now going to move on to something a little more familiar, which is folding the short edges into the lines that we have just made here. And opening that out, and then folding the long edges so that they come together and we have a fold down the center. And open it up, Then fold the long edges so that they meet in the centre on the line you've just created. We're now going to treat each of these end sections as an individual square, and we're going to fold so that this line where the square begins meets this line here on the edge of our 3 centimetre gap. That means pinching here, folding forwards and folding this backwards, and then being careful to align it along the edge of the 3 centimetre gap and pressing it all down. And repeat this on the other side. To create this shape. Once you've done that, you'll need to open up one of these sections, and we're going to create a fold here. So that means opening out the centre and folding this part of the centre line so that it comes backwards along the line where our 3 centimetre gap is. You'll then need to press down on the inside, like so, and repeat on this side. Once you have that, push this part down towards you to make that familiar irregular hexagon shape. Once you have that, fold each corner inwards. Like so. Fold the bottom part up to meet the bottom of the triangles here. And fold that entire piece up, like this. You'll then be repeating that process on the other side. So rotate your piece, open it out, and you're going to be folding this central piece backwards so that it lies along the edge of the 3 centimetre line here. So open it out, carefully fold it back, and press down in the corner. Open out the centre, carefully fold it back so that it lies along the edge of the 3 centimetre line, and press down in the middle. Then once again bring this whole piece towards you, to make your irregular hexagon. Fold in each edge to the centre. Fold this bottom part up to the edge of the triangles. And fold that whole piece up to the top. You'll notice that what you have now is a 3 centimetre gap in the centre and a large box. You're now going to need some glue. You need to put glue over these parts here. Be generous. And you can then place these longer parts on top. You can also slot these smaller parts onto the longer ones that you've made, and these edges just tuck into the folds here and here. You may want to open out the box a little bit to get them to stick, but when you close them you can tidy up the edges. And then you have it, 4 small boxes, 2 medium boxes, and a large box. This 3 centimetre gap in the middle makes a spine so you can fold it up like a book, and you may even want to make some way of fastening it. For example, and then you can glue these final pieces closed. You may also have noticed that we have 1 remaining small box, which can help to make the fastening on the front. Like so. So take your glue, carefully close your book, place the remaining one on the front, and you'll be able to fasten it with the string that you put inside. There we go.